What is up, my peeps? Kaydiant here, and happy holidays! With the end of 2025 quickly approaching, it's time for another QnA. I asked y'all to send in some questions last month on my social media, and while I didn't receive a lot this time around, I did receive some. So with all of that being said, let's get on with them. Most of these came from my YouTube community tab, and the first one is from Japan Octo Warrior, who has two questions for me. The first one being, what theme and gimmick you want to see in future Kamen Rider? I don't really know about gimmick, but I'd honestly love to see a Kamen Rider season that goes all in on the dinosaur and prehistoric motif. Sentai's done it several times, and we got close with Revice a few years ago, having a T-Rex main rider and prehistoric animal vice stamps, and on the 50th anniversary, mind you. But every other rider in that show is themed after living creatures, and to sour that, one of the main riders was voiced by a racist, so yay. Their second question was, have you made or thought of an alien you made relating to Ben 10, either for a Ben 10 transformation or one of your Omnitrix OCs? I guess this is asking if I would make my own alien to add to my Omnitrix Wielder OC, and honestly, the answer is no. Because I want my playlist to have all official aliens. I have seen some people do that, and honestly I think it's pretty cool. Not my thing though. As a kid, I did draw some of my own aliens. I believe I have them stored away somewhere, and if I can find them, I'll throw some up on screen here. To answer this exact question though, no I haven't. These next two questions both relate to things I've addressed in my recent community posts, so I'll be merging them together, and as such you'll be able to find most of my answers there. But I'll be answering them here too, as there is a little bit more to add. From Antonio Joe 5YS, thoughts on the whole Maya Imamori situation and how it's currently affecting Toei and Gozyuger going forward. I'm recording this a couple days after watching episode 40. I will say Kohaku does do a good Sumino, and her portrayals as the two characters are definitely different, but I'm not completely used to the Sumino recast just yet. I have been made aware Kohaku has been in several J-dramas since Dawn Brothers, so it's likely not having seen her outside of tokusatsu is affecting my perspective here. I liked the only sister reference jokes, but as time passes and as long as they don't overdo those jokes, I think I'll get used to this recast. Definitely still not the same without Maya though. From Hayden Reviews Custom Combos, what do you think about the Universe Heroes rebrand possibility? Because of how soon after the announcement of Project Red I made my post on it, I neglected to mention that Super Sentai isn't actually ending for good. In an interview with Toei executive and producer Shinichiro Shirakura, he said the franchise is simply on hiatus for now, and that if it does eventually return, it would be better to wait 10 years. This doesn't change the future of Sentai content on this channel though. Got a long question from Senkaiju53. Hey Kay, I'm planning to come out as a trans woman on my graduation day in June by doing a little mini concert that I'm going to be doing with people I know, while dressing as QnA and singing Kamen Rider and Super Sentai openings. What words can you say to be calm and happy and energetic while singing to an audience that I've come out to as trans? And other stuff, it's a mouthful I know, but yeah. Looking at QnA's design, I can see why you picked them, and I'm going to be honest, I was stumped for the longest time on how to answer this, as I haven't come out to anyone myself in over 3 years. The best advice I can give is to make sure you have some friends to lift you up for support, in case the friends you're coming out to aren't accepting. Along with some advice from my new girlfriend here. This style of coming out isn't one I've quite heard of before, so best of luck and I hope it goes well. Now for a quick question from Amazing Genius 378. Making any reviews on fan-made adaptations like Gem Paladins, Rail Riders, and Beast Hunters? For anyone unaware of what this question is referring to, these are fan-made Power Rangers adaptations of Kira Major, Tokuja, and Zyuohger respectively, made by the YouTube channel Zenith Films Media. I saw episode 1 of Beast Hunters on my YouTube recommended, and did actually watch a little bit of it with some friends on a Discord call. But I have no plans to fully watch it, or the other two, or do reviews on any of them to be honest. From the little I saw of Beast Hunters though, it does look pretty good, and I would encourage you all to go check it out along with their other projects if you're interested. Got two questions from PikaTwig16. The first being, what Rider season and what Sentai season have had your favourite gimmicks. For simplicity's sake, I'll only be including the gimmicks of seasons I have seen. Honestly, for Rider, I would say Gotchard with the Ride Kemi cards. While they are just cards, the Kemis are basically Kamen Rider's equivalent of Pokemon, being something I've been a fan of for almost my entire life. I really like not only the main 101, but the Legend Rider Kemis too. It's the most creative and my absolute favourite take on the Legend Rider gimmick I've ever seen. Honourable mentions go to Bill's Full Bottles and Zero One's Progress Keys for playability, and Revice's Vice Stamps for their variety of designs. For Sentai, recency bias might play a part in this choice, but it's the Sentai rings from the currently airing Gozyuger. I really like the designs of each ring, referencing stuff from their respective shows, and there's power-up variants too. I like their usage by both the Gozyugers and the Universe Warriors, and how they can be both used for transformation and executing special attacks. Honourable mentions go to Kyuranger's Q-Tama for their constellation motif, and the Ryusouls from Ryusoulger with their variety of powers and armor equipping gimmick. Pikatwig's second question was, do you have a favourite Precure season? Right now, my favourite season of Precure is a close tie between Hirogaru Sky Precure and Star Twinkle Precure. But currently I'm watching Mahou Sky Precure, which has been a blast, so it's very unlikely it won't end up being my new favourite once I've finished it. Hugtto Precure is my next season, and from the praise I've heard about it, that could very well be a contender for being my new favourite. From Aiden's Media Discussions 7088. If you've seen it, what is your honest opinion on Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury? I have seen it, yeah, it's actually my favourite season of Gundam. I really like the story and the characters, though being the Himijoshi that I am, the main draw of the show for me was the Yuri between Soletta and Miorine. I really like their relationship, and screw Bandai Namco for trying to retcon the ending that was written for the two of them, honestly. My last YouTube community tab questions are from the Owl Artist. I've already addressed Project Red in my community tab and earlier in the video, so I'll at the very least answer your other two questions. Has Gavv taken Vulcan's role as your favourite rider? Yep, as of finishing Gavv 3 months ago, Shoma, Kamen Rider Gavv, has replaced Fua Isamu, Kamen Rider Vulcan, as my new overall favourite Kamen Rider. I like this idea, but how would you feel if there was a trans Cure? Honestly, I really like that idea. I'm always excited to see more representation in the franchises I enjoy, Precure being no exception. Being trans myself, a transgender Precure would be especially hyped, to be honest. The storyline of course would depend on the season's themes, and there's a lot of facets to being transgender that could be used to teach positive lessons to the audience. Not to mention what a good role model the character would be for trans viewers, especially trans kids. So there's definitely a few different ways you could go about it. Just gotta hope Toei wouldn't screw it up. Sadly knowing that though, the likelihood isn't zero. The only questions I received on Bluesky were from my friend Goober. Firstly, what's your favourite memory in the Tokusatsu community? I've been in this community for over a decade now, so at least to say I've built up a lot of time here. But with my bad memory, I haven't retained everything. Being a part of my Toku friend group, Team Muteki Dubs has by far been my favourite one though. As I briefly mentioned in my Pride video earlier this year, they've become a found family I never thought I'd have. Finally having people I could talk to about my biggest interest after not easily making or keeping friends in school, college or university is something I will absolutely cherish for a long time. Secondly, Lupin Ranger's son or Bad Ranger daughter? But this is the second year in a row you've asked me a silly question, god damn it. I'd probably say Lupin Ranger's son though. I like their suits more, and to be honest I'm kinda biased as is, considering my girlfriend is a big fan of the Lupin Rangers. She's even cosplayed as Lupin Yellow before. And with that, that was the end of 2025 Q&A, and this will be it for me this year. The last couple months of this year have been quite the tumultuous time for me. I have a new girlfriend now, and with that has come a whole lot of complicated emotions to deal with. Following my visit to her and some of her polycule, it's given me the final spark I need to get going on my plans of moving away from my parents, hopefully sometime in the new year. I've put a link in my community tab to a GoFundMe to get me the rest of the funds I need to move out, but I'll put it in the description of this video too. £450 is the minimum to get me feeling secure, but an extra £500 would be good to help with a deposit on somewhere to eventually live. If you have anything, please donate, it would be much appreciated. Alternatively, you can always join my Patreon for £2 a month to get behind the scenes of and early access to my videos as I work on them. If you can't donate to either though, don't worry, spreading word of the GoFundMe to more people would be much appreciated. Thank you for all of the support this year, Valid Peeps. The videos were lacking in quantity, but I felt they more than made up for that in the quality of each of them, my 4-year return anniversary video especially. That Boonja video is probably going to be my next one, but when that will be will depend on both my mental health and how soon I can get the funds together for moving out. With all of that being said though, have a very happy holiday season, and I shall see all of you next time in 2026.